Good morning everyone, this is BremSter, and today I'm coming to you with a puzzle called Candy Sticks by Niverio. Now, about 18 months ago, I think it was, I did a puzzle by Niverio called Candy Shop, which I think used this similar constraint. So, yeah, I don't know if I'll try and remember, but you'll be able to search for Candy Shop by searching for Niverio on my channel. Yeah, I'm very curious about how this puzzle is going to go because it's been a very long time since I've looked at this constraint. So we'll see. Now, one thing I do want to announce is in a few days, I will be releasing a new pack on the channel. So in a couple of days, the third pack in the KG Constraints series will be coming out, and the pack is called KG Constraints. Now, you may say, what do you mean third pack? If you are one of the 2,000 people who has joined my channel in the last 18 months, yes, there were two puzzle packs released in, I think it was August and September, it might have been August and October 2022, called Skilling Sudoku and Caging Constraints, which were killer Sudoku packs. And it was always going to be a triple, and then everything happened that caused a trilogy, and then a whole bunch of stuff happened that caused there to be problems, and I never actually got to finish it. So the puzzles have been sitting around languishing for a long time, and yeah, in a couple of days, all of it is nearly done, and should be able to release it. So look forward to that. 32 killer Sudoku by some amazing setters. So yeah, a couple of days. So let's have a look at Candy Sticks by Niverio. So normal. Okay. I need to clean up the rules before this is released because this is all over the place. But normal Sudoku rules apply. So in every box, in every row, and in every column, the digits 1 to 9 must be placed without repetition. Renban. Renban line consists of a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order. So the digits that go on a line, if you were to take them off the line and sort them, they must be a run of digits, is the way that works. And then we've got the ambiguous XV Kropki dots, which are these coloured dots. So the grid is cluttered with 4 differently coloured dots. There's yellow, blue, green, and red. The 4 colours represent the 4 constraints of White Kropki, Black Kropki, V, and X clues. Which colour represents which constraint must be deduced by the solver. So White Kropki means that separates cells containing consecutive digits. Black Kropki separates cells containing digits in a 2-to-1 ratio. V separates cells that sum to 5, and X separates cells that sum to 10. So one of these constraints is consecutive. One of these is 2-to-1 ratio. One of these is cells sum to 5. And one of these is cells sum to 10, and we don't know which is which. So we have to figure that out. I'm going to restart the puzzle to restart my timer. Let's give this a shot. So we've got to be able to tell something about this. So each dot appears... Okay, so I'm actually going to bring up my notepad. We know that the yellow dot is not X, because there's only one way this could work. It couldn't be 1, 9 because you couldn't put 1 and 9 on a 3-cell long Renban. It can't be 2, 8 for the same reason. It can't be 3, 7. It could be 4, 6 with a 5, but if this was 4, 6, 5, what would this be? Because this would have to be 4, 6 with a 5. So you can't make two X clues on yellow. So either one of these is going to have to be... And blue is the same. Okay, so yellow is not X. Blue is also not X because of the same thing. If this was an X clue, these would have to be 4, 5, 6, and these would both be 5. So either red or green is X, and whichever one of those makes one of these 4, 6, and one of those two has to be the 5. So that's forced, but I'm not sure which one of these is the X. Now, this is weird. I'm not sure how this is going to work. So yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to work. So what else could this be? Could yellow be V? Because if this was V, these would have to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that doesn't work either. Because if these were 1, 2, 3, and 4, if whichever one of these is 2, 3, has to have 1, 4 on it, and that's not going to work. So yellow is also not V. So I'm just marking not V next to yellow. So actually the way to do that is, yeah, it's not V. So it's either consecutive or ratio. Now, can blue be V? I think it could. So yellow is either consecutive or ratio. Now, ratios, if this was 1, 2, the other one could be 3. Okay, so is it possible that yellow is ratio? And I'm thinking there's a problem with that. Because, yeah, I don't think yellow can be ratio. I think yellow has to be consecutive. Because if yellow was ratio, so I'm just going to mark, so I think yellow has to be consecutive. And the reason for that is if this was ratio, I could use 1, 2, 3. So if one of them was 1, 2, the other one would be 3. But what would the other option would be? I couldn't use 2, 4. I couldn't use 3, 6. It'd have to be 4, 8, and that's broken. If I don't use 1, 2, if I use 2, 4 with 3, what's the other one going to be? I couldn't use 1, 2. I couldn't use 4, 8. I couldn't use 3, 6. There's no other option for it. And then if I don't use 1, 2 or 2, 4, the only things I've got are 3, 6 and 4, 8, and neither of those can be on it. So yellow is absolutely consecutive. So we've figured out now that yellow is consecutive. So that is a step forward. Now, that allows these to be almost anything. So we've got X. So we know that blue is not X, so it's either V or ratio. Can blue be V? If they were V, if this was 2, 3, this would have to be 1, 4, but this could be either 2, 3 or 1, 4. I don't see a problem with that. Now, one of these we know is X, which is 4, 5, 6. So one of these has to be 4, 6 with 5. Now, I don't know if it's this one or this one, but I know one of these is 4, 6, 5. And the other one has to be either ratio or V. Now, if it was V, it would have to be 2, 3, and it couldn't be with 4, so it would have to be with 1. Why do I keep changing mode? So if it's V, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and these would be 7, 8, 9. Okay. If it's, because one of these has to be X. If the other one was ratio, what could it be? I could use 1, 2 with 3. That's if it was ratio. I couldn't use 2, 4. I couldn't use 3, 6. I couldn't use 4, 8. So if this is ratio, it has to be 1, 2 with 3. And if it's V, it has to be 2, 3 with 1. So these are 1, 3, 5. They have to be and must contain a 5. One of these is 4, 6. And it's either 1, 2. There's too many options. But those are definitely 1, 3, 5. Now, is it parity? This one is definitely trickier than Candy Shop, I think. So blue is not X and it's not consecutive. So blue, here we go again, blue is either V. Now, I've already looked at this. Blue is either V or ratio. If blue was ratio, what are the ratio possibilities? You could do 1, 2 with 3. You could do 2, 4 with 3. But that's all, isn't it? Whichever one is ratio. So these can't be ratio. Blue can't be ratio. Because if it was ratio, if I made it 1, 2, that would make this 3. If I made it 2, because 1, 2, it has to be a 1, 2, 3. If it was 2, 4, I need to put a 3 on the line to connect them. If it's 3, 6, then I need to put a 4 and a 5 on the line, and I can't do it. And if it's 4, 8, it's even worse. So if blue was ratio, whatever these ratios would be, both of those would have to be 3, and that doesn't work. So blue is not ratio. So blue is not X, it's not consecutive, it's not ratio. So blue is V, and these are from 1, 2, 3, 4. So blue is V, which means that green and red are only from X and ratio. That's cool. So this is now a 3-5 pair because we know whichever one is ratio has the 3 on it. So this is actually a 3-5 pair. But, so one of these is 4, 6 with 5, and the other one is 1, 2 with 3 because I can't use the 4. So this is 1, 2, 4, 6. This is 1, 2, 4, 6. And these are 7, 8, 9. That's weird, but I still haven't figured out which one is which. But I now know that blue is V. And they both have to be 2, 3 because 1, 4 cannot be connected. So there's no 1, 4 on these. These are 2, 3, and these are 1 or 4. This is strange. Okay. So now I have to put 2 and 3 up here by Sudoku. Niverio is a strange person. But this is a 2, 3 pair in a row with consecutive dots. So this is 1 and 4. Because what's consecutive with 2? One of these is 2, and it could only be consecutive with 1 or 3, and the 3 is not available. And one of these is 3, and it's only consecutive with 2 or 4, and the 3 and the 2 is not available. So this is a 1-4 pair. Two and 3 is up here. Now, one of them has to be on one of these lines. That's going to have some strange impact, but I'm not seeing it yet. So green is X or ratio. Blue is V, and that's done. Yellow is consecutive. If this was 2... hang on, can you put 2? How could you put 2 on this? 2 with 3. Hang on, you can't put 2 on either of these lines. Because if you put 2 on this line, how do you make the Renban work? If you put 2 on either of these lines. If I was to put 2 here, how would I make this Renban work? Because the line would either have to be 1, 2, 3, and 1, 3 are not consecutive, or 2, 3, 4. And I can't do 2, 3, 4 because I can't use 3. If I put 2 here, I can't put 3 on the line, and I need to. Because so you can never put 2 on the line. So that's the 2. And there is a 3 on one of these. And it has to go 3 with 4, 5. So one of these is 4, 5. And that will go with the 1. But that's a 2. This is very cool. But I'm still not sure what I'm doing. Now we know red and green is X or ratio. Is it where is 1 in this column? Because I can't put 1 on the Renban. I can't put 1 in either of those two cells. So 1 is either here or on this dot. And green is either X or ratio. So if I could get 1 out of that cell, 1 would be on here, and then this would have to be X, because I couldn't make it ratio, because if it was ratio, it'd be 1, 2, and that's not possible. So why can't 1 go there? If 1 is there... Okay, so if this becomes a 1... I'm not sure. I'm wondering if there's something going on with these 1, 4s. But I don't see, like, these could be the same or different, because if this is 1, this could be 2, 3, and that could still be 1 or 4. I can't put 1 on any of these lines, so there is a 1 in one of those two. Yeah, there is a 1 in one of those two, which lines up with those 1s, meaning I can't put 1 in any of those. So there's 1s in one of those. So hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is on one of these lines. So the other one is from 6, 7, 8, 9. No, that's not giving me enough. 3 is down here. But this could be 3, 4, 5, I think. Actually, maybe it is column 5. Because if this was a ratio, oh, one of these has to be a ratio. One of these is an X and one of them is a ratio. But what is the ratio? Because I can't use 1, 2, I can't use 2, 4, and I can't use 3, 6. So one of these is 4, 8. At which point the X is 1, 9. So this is 1, 9, 4, 8. Because once I use the... So whichever one of these is a ratio, because remember down here I've got ratio in X. Whichever one of these is ratio, I can't use 1, 2 because the 2 can't be used in the row. I can't use 2, 4 because the 2 is used in the row. I can't use 3, 6, so it's 4, 8. Because the important thing to remember about ratio dots is I have to use 1, 2, 3, or 4 with its double digit. 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 3 to 6, 4 to 8. Because the next one is 5 to 10 and I've broken the rules of Sudoku. So these are 1, 4, 8, and 9. So these are 5, 6, and 7. Now, I'm not sure that's what's helping me here, though. But this is now more restricted. Can I narrow that down? Because one of these is 4, 8. One of these is 1, 9. I feel column 5 is doing a lot. Oh, that can't be a 1 anymore. So where do I put 1 in this column? It is what I was thinking. That can't be a 1 because one of these is 4, 8 and one of these is 1, 9. Where do I put 1 in this column? I can't put 1 here. I can't put 1 here because of the 1, 4. This is 5, 6, 7. If I put 1 on the Renban, it's 1, 2, 3, and that's broken. 1 is on this dot. And I cannot make it a ratio because if I make this a ratio, it's 1, 2, and that's broken. This is 1, 9. Green is the X clue. So that is not the ratio. This is the 1, 9. Red is ratio and green is X. And now we have the makeup of all of the dots. That is very cool. That is beautiful. So how do I use that to get me anything? 3 is now on this. This is 3, 4, 5. Because where does 3 go in this column? I can't put 3 here because 3 has to be in one of those two by the 2, 3 pairs. So 3 is not in any of those. 3 can't be down here. So this is 3, 4, 5, taking 5 out of here. So There's no 9 here anymore. So this is 6, 7, or 8. There must be a 6 up here. This is really cool. Red is ratio. So these... Now, I need to resolve what these were. So these were 4, 6 was the X, because it was the only X clue I could do. So this is 4, 6 with 5, and this is 1, 2 with 3. Which means that's not the 3, this is the 3, and the 3 on the Renban can only go with the 4, 5 consecutive, which makes that the 1, which makes that the 2, which makes that the 3. This could still be 1 or 4, but the 2 makes that the 3, and that the 2. 3 is only consecutive with 4. The 1 and the 4 don't actually resolve any of this. That probably shouldn't surprise me. Okay. Very clever, though. Where's 1 in this column? 1 can't go up here because there's a 1 in the box. 1 can't go on here because this is consecutive and it'd be 1, 2. So 1 is in one of those 3. Now 4 is the same. I can't put 4 in any of those because of the 4 pairs. So 4 is in one of those 3. Do I have the same over here? No. But 1 is still... Oh, 1 was in one of those 2, remember? So this is actually the 1, because I can't put 1 on a Renban and I can't put 1 here. This is the 1 which makes that the 4 and that the 1. There we go. Should have remembered 1 had to go up here. So these are now 6, 7, 8, and 9. But that 1 makes that the 9 and that the 1. Which puts 1 in here. Now, 1 here would make this 1, 2. 1 here would make this 1, 2, because red is ratio. But I could make that 2, I think. Because 1 is in one of those 2. So these could both be 1 and that be a 2. I think that works. Okay, so I haven't locked it down yet. I can't put 7 or 9 onto a ratio dot because there's no valid ratio for them. So 7 and 9 have to be in those. And wherever the 9 goes with the 8. Right. Oh, this is so cool. So where does 9 go in this box? It can't go on a ratio dot because there's no valid ratio for it. So one of these is 9, 8. Now I ask, where does the 7 go? I can't put it on a ratio dot. So the 7 has to go here, and the 7 can't go with the 8 because that's been allocated to the 9. So the other one is 7, 6. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9. There's no 1 there. This is the 1. This is the 2. The 1 goes with the 2. Because it's the only valid ratio. 2 is consecutive with 1 or 3. But this is now 1, 2. 2 is only ratioed to 1 or 4, and it can't be with 1. That's the 4. 4 is consecutive with only 3 or 5. That is really cool. There's so much amazing stuff in this puzzle, but I'm still not fully grokking it. Now, this is a ratio dot, and it can't be 1, 2, it can't be 2, 4, it can't be 4, 8. This is 3, 6, which takes 3 out of here and 6 out of both of those, and 6 is disposed to the 7. So if there's no 6 there, there's no 7 in either of those 2. 7 is in one of these 2, and 6 is in one of those 2, which means 6 is down here, and 7, I'm not sure. There's no 5 here. That's a 6, 7 pair. So that's the 5. I should have seen that earlier. These are now 6, 7, and 8. There must be an odd digit on any consecutive dot. So there must be a 7 here. So what can that be? Because it can't be a 6 because the 6 in the column is allocated here. So this is from 6, 7, 8, 9, but it can't be 6. So this is from 7, 8, 9. Where's 5 in this column? That has to be a 5, doesn't it? Can't put 5 down here. 3, 4, 5. That's the 5. Because this can't be a 5. No, that's wrong. This isn't from 7, 8, 9. Let's undo that because I think I got that wrong. Oh, no, it can't be a 5. There's a 4, 5. That is absolutely correct. So, yeah, this is the 5. And this is from 6, 7, 8, 9, but it can't be 6. This is 7, 8, 9. That's now got to be the 4, because where does the 4 go? That's the 4, that's the 8. I could have got that earlier from the 4, 5. Sorry, I missed that. And this is from 6, 8, 9, because a 7 must be on here. There's no 7 here either. 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9 all seem possible. But there must be an 8 on this, so there's no 8 here. This is 6 or 9. Because this is 6, 7, 8, or 7, 8, 9. There must be a 7 and an 8, but the 7 must be on this dot. Now, green is an X clue. The 4, of course, makes this the 5, and there's no 5 here. Now, this can't be 1, 9, or 4, 6. So it's 2, 8, or 3, 7. It's not 3, 7. This is 2, 8, which takes 8 out of those, and that means this is 7, 9, which takes the 9 out of those, and that's 6, 8, which means 8 is in one of those two. These are 6, 7, 8. There's a 9 in one of those two, because this is 6, 7, or 9. Okay. I've made a lot of really good deductions. I just haven't quite got it yet. One is in one of those two. 2 is in one of those two. What is this consecutive dot? Or is this one more constrained? I'm not sure. I think this one is more constrained because it can't be 1, 2. It can't be 2, 3. It can't be 3, 4. It can't be 4, 5. It can't be 5, 6. It can't be 6, 7. So this is actually from 7, 8, 9 and must contain an 8 because... Right, 1, 2 is not possible. 2, 3 is not possible. 3, 4 is not possible. 4, 5 is not possible. 5, 6 is not possible. 6, 7 is not possible. This is 7, 8, or 8, 9. So this is a 7, 8, 9 triple, which means that's the 6, which means there's no 6 over here. This is 7, 8, 9. The 7, 8 makes that the 6, taking 6 out of both of those, making that the 6. So that's the 7, that's the 9. This is a 7, 8 pair. Which means this can't be, this never was. It's either 9, 8 or 6, 7. But this, if this is 9, 8, hang on. No, this can't be 9, 8 anymore. There's no 9 here. So that's the 7, that's the 6. This is the 9, this is the 8, which means that's the 7, that's the 8. And that's because, remember, these were 9, 8 and 6, 7, and the 9 made that one not the 9, 8. This was the 9, 8. So the 7 and the 8 look down, making that the 6, taking the 6 out of there. The 7 looks down, making that the 8, which makes that the 7. Looking across, making that the 9, which looks back, making that the 8. The 9 comes out of here. This is a 7, 8 pair, taking 8 out of there, making that the 8. These are now, what, 4 and 5? This is so cool. This is so damn cool. These are 2, I can't use 3, 4, 5, can't use 6, 2, 7, and 9. And there's no 2 there. Oh, there's no 9 in either of those. So 7, 2, and 9. Just locked in. Beautiful. Trying to see what's going on. So these are 1, 2, 3, 5. So 2 is in one of, 2 is right there. These are 1, 3, and 5. There's no 1 there. Maybe, but I think I want to look on another part of the grid. Oh, this 8 makes that 7 and that 8. That is a 3-5 pair. So that's the 1. There's no 1 there. The 1 makes that the 9 and that the 1. This is now a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a 6-7 pair. So what can that be? It has to be consecutive with 6 or 7. So it's 5, 6, or 7 because it can't be 8. But there must be a 6 on it's 5 because the 6, 7 is already allocated to the box. So that's the 6 and that's the 7. This is now a pair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 7, 9 pair, and I can use either the 9 or the 7 to resolve it. This is so damn cool. The 7 looks up making that the 8 and that the 7. Something has to resolve all of this. Oh, it's that 5, making that the 3 and that the 5, which of course makes this the 3. The 5 looks up making that the 4 and that the 5. The 4 looks down making that the 6 and that the 4, which looks up making that the 3 and that the 6. The 8 looks down making that the 2 and that the 8. The 2 looks down making that the 1 and that the 2. These are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 9, and I'll use that 9 to make that the 4 and that the 9. Right, so what is this? These are 1, 3, 5 and 6. So there's no 1 there. There's no 6 there. There's no 5 there. In fact, I could have just used that. The 1 now makes that the 3. That becomes the 6. So that's the 5 and that's the 1. The 3 looks across making that the 4 and that the 3. The 4 looks across making that the 5 and that the 4. And that is the correct solution. 28 minutes and 17 seconds. 210 solves in 49 or 48 days. That's not enough. Let's get those numbers up, people. Wow, that was glorious. I had no idea how I was going to start that puzzle. I knew there was going to be some restriction, but when I saw that all of the colors of dots were on these lines, I thought, hang on a minute, that means everything is possible. So how am I going to restrict it? But that was glorious, realizing that these had to be consecutive or it was broken, and then being able to figure out that these had to be V or that there's going to be a conflict in these cells, and then repeating that logic. Just beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Once again, I am blessed with people sending me amazing puzzles. Thank you, Niverio, for the puzzle. Wow. I hope I can do this one justice with a thumbnail, but I hope I did it justice with the solve, and I hope you all enjoy it. I do need to fix some errors in the rules. The puzzle, as it was submitted, didn't have a complete set of rules. It basically just said normal rules apply. So, and when I moved it in, I obviously made some mistakes. There's a whole bunch of copy and paste errors on the rules I see. By the time you see this puzzle, they will be fixed. So I will get all that fixed and yeah, do some editing and uploading, and you will see this puzzle soon. Thanks everyone for watching, and as always, good luck with your solving.